Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast.
Angel Di Maria, red carded in this game in the first half, elbow to the stomach of Armando Isoa. He made the most of it, to be fair, but you can't do that. You can't do that. You swing your elbow, even if you make the lightest of touches, you're going to get red carded. And
it's part of the rules are what. It's
the referee had no choice. It was just a moment of stupidity. As I said before, I think it reflected the nervousness in the Juventus camp at the moment, but it also reflected, how Di Maria is feeling right now. The people I've spoken to, he's not happy with Allegri. It's been well reported that he's had a falling out with Allegri. From Allegri's side, he's not happy with Di Maria. He thought he would be someone that could come in and make the difference, give them the leap of quality, and he hasn't done that. And from Di Maria's side, he's unhappy with how his injury was managed, and I think he's absolutely right about that. He's been rushed back twice and got injured twice. And two, he's obviously looking at Allegri and he's just thinking, what the hell have I come into here? I mean, who is this manager? What the hell is he doing? What kind of football is he playing? He's come from a team of superstars and he's suddenly playing with, Weston McKennie and De Sciglio. When he looks to pass to his right, he sees those two. And when he looks to pass to his left, he's got Alexandro. So it's
but you can't. Alexandro is not a bad player compared to the gems, the creme de la cremes that you mentioned there before.
Did you see? By the way, just as a separate point, did you see that there was a moment in the first half where McKennie did a 5-yard sideways pass to De Sciglio, the simplest pass you'll ever get. I mean, the kind of pass that 5-year-old school kids would do, no problem. And he passed it straight out of play. And that just summed up basically where Juventus were at. But I mean, with Di Maria, he, I guess there's two sides to this, but is this another transfer mistake from Juventus?
I'm not sure. I'm not ready to say that because I don't think Angel Di Maria is the player he was. And he's one of my favorite players of the last decade. I loved him at Real Madrid. I think he was a gorgeous little player at PSG. Just so intelligent. I would have loved to have him at Inter. Unfortunately, that never materialized. But no, I think it's too soon. I think the problem is that if you're going to bring in experienced players like that, then you have to be careful on how you play them, how you coach them, how you train them. And Allegri is using archaic preparation techniques, and J Medical seem completely clueless as to what they're actually doing, and what they seem completely. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're making injuries worse, as we saw. And then Allegri's comment confirmed, didn't he? About Di Maria.
He admitted it. Yeah.
I mean, it's that's the level of that. To me, that's unprofessionalism in today's game, and that's why he's pissed. Di Maria, one of the reasons he's pissed, and he's got every right to be. I mean, I've never heard a coach in the last 10 years say something at this level at one of the top clubs, admit to playing an injured player, and then he worsens his injury and then just acts like it's raining. Genuinely astonishing. Yeah. But I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon to say that. But I do understand why you'd think that.
Well, I don't think that, to be honest. I'm not necessarily thinking it's a transfer mistake, but I think that when Juventus signed him, I questioned it. Everybody was getting really excited about it, just like they were with Pogba. And I was just like, hang on a minute. Let's just look at the bigger picture here. From a Juventus transfer policy point of view, this just smacks of short-termism again, which has been my whole criticism of Juventus. My whole criticism of Juventus' transfer policy, let's just take the last year or so, has been twofold. One is that they're not buying players to fit a certain formation or style of play. Or, when you start off at the beginning of a summer market, you should sit down. They should all sit down. And, Allegri was part of the decision making this summer. It should be Allegri, Arrivabene, Cherubini, whoever else. So sit down and say, right, what formation are we playing next season? What style of play are we playing? And once you've decided that, you say, right, based on that, we need to buy a striker. We need to buy a central midfielder. We need to buy a left winger to play left in our 4-3-3. They need to have these attributes. That's what you sit down and you decide. Now with Juventus, they don't know what their formation is because Allegri's changing it every single week. He still doesn't know what it is. They don't have a style or identity at all. So basically what they've done is they've just ended up, and this has happened for a few years in a row actually, it even happened with Sarri when he didn't get the players that he needed for his type of football, is you get a mishmash of players, some players that can play in one formation, some players that can play in another formation, some players that can't play with one another, not enough depth for one formation, not enough depth for another formation. To give you the best example, the 3-5-2 formation, which you say is the best formation to use, and I'd probably agree with you, but only when everyone's available. And you go with the 3-5-2 formation, you've got Milik and Vlahovic, and then you don't have a backup forward. You've got one. You've got Keane, who you're basically playing with 10 men when you have him. That's the only. So you can't go into a season trying to play a 3-5-2 formation when the only backup forward you've got is Moise Kean. Even if he was good, you need more depth than that. So, this is the problem with the transfer policy. So Di Maria, the way that he fitted into that was, well, what formation are you playing with him? And number two, look at his age. He's 34. He's going to be 35 midway through this season. He's getting on. And if you get on, you're going to get injuries. We've seen that already. I also had question marks over his motivation. And that's also been leaking out that there's fears, Allegri and some fears within the club that his mind is on the World Cup. He wanted to join a club just so that he could get himself ready for November. Well, basically, by the time he comes back from suspension, he's already missed 7 games now. He's going to miss another 3. That's 10 games missed before he comes back. By the time he comes back, the World Cup is basically here. So he's basically not contributed anything up until the World Cup. So that's already half a season pretty much gone. He's definitely got a lot of repair work to do.
But it's not been confirmed that Di Maria's gotten 3-match ban, has he?
No, but it's probably going to be 2 or 3. It's violent conduct. Yeah, the automatic is 3 games. I think it's 3 automatic.
But I think
unless
2.
They appeal.
I think they will appeal because I think 3 would be a little bit too.
Well, either
harsh.
way, 9, 10.
Punch someone in the face. I mean, it's like it was an elbow, and we know it's a straight, whatever, but it's not. It wasn't. Yeah, it's violent conduct by the letter of the law, but it wasn't. Eric Cantona.
He's played 219 minutes of football so far. So I mean, it hasn't gone well for Di Maria.
It wasn't Roy Keane on Alfie Haaland. It wasn't Eric Cantona. Pick your favorite one. I mean, that's my point. And I think he'll get 2 matches. But no, I agree with you. And he'll miss 2 games again. It's but he. I mean. It's a concerning situation, and also if this is his last chance to win something big, and I don't, with all due respect to Copa America, this is his last chance to win the World Cup, and Messi's chance as well. It's the last chance of that generation, and I think I have Argentina as my favorite to win the World Cup, because I think they finally have a team that's balanced, and I think he's an integral part of that, and I think he's going to come to that World Cup prepared like no one else in order to win that World Cup. And then what happens after that? Does he give a crap about Juve?
Well, there's that question. That's the question mark as well when he comes back as well. He's certainly going to be fresh going into the World Cup. Let's say that.
Listen to the full show and all other episodes by going to patreon.com/TIFP and become a member for only $2.99 per month.